99 banana splits, and 999 Calamity.
And with that, the first whistle goes. We have 8-4 Ray jamming for Great Britain up against Pinball Blizzard. And it's an early lead for Great Britain, who are playing in navy blue.
Ray has been a standout jammer for Team GB in the game so far, picking up most of their points in their game last night against the World.
Yeah, she comes from Eastbourne, which is a notorious hotspot for the development of junior roller derby in the UK. And there she goes, picking up the first 4 points of this game.
The pack is very tight there on turn 2, and we saw that, both teams are very strong in defense.
Ray coming in on your screen there for a second scoring pass, goes past number 2 for Wolf.
And Ray has this incredible ability to just turn around to gain balance. Gets a hit, spins, and actually is more balanced when they land.
Pinball Blizzard having a little bit of trouble at the back there. I think she is up against Charlotte Fever, who is a real stalwart in the Great British defence. Pivot drops back to offer up some shielding offense, so moves Pinball closer to the top of the pack.
And that's a back block penalty that has been picked up by Denmark. And you can see they are putting everything into every block to try and hold back Ray. That was 0-5 Mini Mina with that incredible hit out.
So Pinball Blizzard being drawn back, still Charlotte Fever in that anchoring defence position.
And that was an illegal positioning penalty, also picked up by Team GB, by the pivot.
I think at this point in the weekend, we're going to see a few more penalties being picked up. I cannot emphasise enough how hot it is in here, how much noise these young people have had to cope with, as well as just all the adrenaline of being here. They've done an incredible job, but penalties happen when you're tired.
I mean, Team GB played 2.5 games yesterday.
Yeah, that's a lot. Even sitting down for those games was too much. We have Boneshaw on the line for Great Britain up against 777. That's, I'm just going to check my roster there. Little Skids. Boneshaw with the lead. Such a fast jammer, really uses her arms to power around those curves of the track.
But Team Denmark blocking really effectively.
Yeah, you've got a lovely anchored wall back there, and you can see one of the Kiwi players in there. That's 110. I will just try to find her name for you in my program, because of course we do not have her on the main roster.
Sorry, we're just having to move people away from our view of the track. Everything's very close here, not just the humidity.
Hey, I knew you were going to get that joke in there somewhere.
I do my best. I am the dad joke provider of the Junior Roller Derby World Cup.
So that was, I mentioned a Kiwi player, that was 110 Devil's Daughter. And, you know, great tenacity from the Kiwis, who have just played Great Britain on the open track in the 5th, 6th placing there. Great Britain won that game, so they placed 5th in the open division, New Zealand 6th, and it was a really lovely game of camaraderie.
And it was really close as well, you know. New Zealand make... no, I'm thinking of the other game.
You're thinking of the other game, aren't you? You know, it wasn't a super close game in terms of score, but it was hotly contested in every jam. We have a nice shot on the screen there at the pack lining up. 207 jamming for Denmark, that is Silas, and it is a lead for the team in white and red. And Event Horizon heading to the box for Great Britain. So it is a power jam for Denmark. Will this be where the Danes get their first points on the board?
And that was Rumblebee trying to hold back. But that direction penalty picking up by doing that, unfortunately, letting the Denmark jammer out. Silas now out and scoring points.
Great Britain a little bit broken up on track. There's just 2 of them. That's Mad As, and I think Eliminate Her.
But Calamity is released from the box and is trying to provide some offense for Event Horizon, but the hit out and recycle from number 24, Wolf, was excellent.
Event Horizon returning to play, struggling to find room on the apex, but I've coached her and she's super tenacious. She does not give up. She also skates under my number, which gives her extra points in my book.
But Silas completing the scoring pass.
Oh, I did the announcer curse thing, and Event Horizon is going back to the box on a track cut.
So this is a great opportunity for Denmark to not only catch up, but also possibly take the lead, because and they decided to go with a power start.
Yeah, and you know, those power starts have been pretty instrumental this weekend, especially in teams that are as closely matched as Great Britain and Denmark are. I think the kind of tightest contests in terms of the female division have been like these kind of seeds 3, 4, 5, and 6, which is Denmark, the world, and Great Britain.
And Canada as well.
Well, Canada and Sweden last night shredded my nerves entirely. We have a power start for Denmark. That is one of the Kiwi skaters skating on Denmark's behalf. That is 287, I believe. Let me find out who that is for you.
And they've picked up Lead Jammer. It is,
Blaze Lively, I think.
Yes, can just about read the scoreboard from here. So, fabulous name. Love Blaze Lively.
Yeah.
Also in the pack on the scoring pass, sees the British jammer coming out, calls the jam. So that is 2 points for Denmark, which has taken them to 17, GB on 18.
Oh, we've got a 1 point game. Lovely.
But those last 2 jams, they've all been about Denmark.
I think it's taken Great Britain a little while to settle into their groove this weekend. Like, nerves have shaken them a little bit at points. They've had a really good mindset, but I think get a bit down on themselves. I think if they can really, I think it's a lot about self-belief at this point. Belief that they beat Denmark in the group stages, and so believing that they can do so again will be critical.
But Denmark have picked up lead for the 3rd time in a row now.
Yeah, that's Mini Mina with lead status, and Boneshaw still fighting to complete that initial pass. Gets a little help from her friends.
But it's Wolf again trying to hold back with a great recycle.
Yeah, and Boneshaw does stay in bounds, but wasn't quite sure if she picked up the no pass there, so does make the sensible decision to reset.
But Mini Mina's completed 1, now 2 scoring passes in that time. This is a fantastic jam for Denmark.
Yeah, and it has seen our first lead change of the game. Denmark with 12 on the jam. And we've got a nice shot here of us all the way in turn 4 back at the jam line. Mini Mina calls the jam from the floor, and that will add 2 more points to her total, taking Denmark to 31, Great Britain 18.
Fantastic start for Team Denmark. So it'll be really interesting to see now. GB won the first couple of jams. It's now gone to Denmark. And not surprisingly, Team GB have now called for a timeout. That's exactly the timing I would be doing this if I was them.
So I am going to use this timeout to quickly remind people of a couple of things, because we hope that on your Sunday you are going to stay with us all day on the stream. So we are in the placement games today. So this is the 5th, 6th playoff for the female division. And then after this, I believe we're going to have... Is it Australia?
It is Canada, Australia on the open track. Now, that starts at 12:30, which slightly overlaps this game.
Yes, so obviously stay with us. And then go to the other track.
And then we are back on track in terms of timetable. So at 2:15, it is going to be France. I'm trying to see somebody else's handwriting and missing. It is going to be... that can't be right.
We're going to check that for you.
Yeah, we're going to check that
I got so excited about all the roller derby that's coming up, I forgot the order of which it's coming up. Yes. But essentially, all the placings today, all the games today are placings games. So we will end the day with the female division final, which I can confirm that is USA versus Sweden.
Yes.
And then the game prior to that will be the open final, which is USA versus France. And that is going to blow the roof off in here.
Yes. I mean, all the games have been loud, but the French games in particular, it's wonderful to see so many people, French people supporting and attending and shouting and stamping during the World Cup here in Valence.
Ray back on track for Great Britain and does pick up their second consecutive, well, not consecutive, but their second lead status of the game. And 2:07, Silas is jamming once again for Denmark, finding a little bit of trouble against this British defense at the front, but does complete the initial as Ray picks up 4 on her first scoring pass. So Great Britain calling the jam after 4. And I think it's these kind of slow, steady jams, you know, 4 here, 4 there, that will be important for Great Britain, because if they tend to get into, if they get into a bit of a penalty spiral or lose their heads, that's where they start to go a bit downhill. We have Carrion lining up to jam for Great Britain. And I've got a bit of a soft spot for Karis because I've coached her a couple of times. She's done a super job this weekend, been jamming and blocking.
And Blaze Lively on the jam line for Team Denmark.
Yeah, we've got a nice anchored wall there, anchored by Sirius block for Great Britain. And Carrion does escape, picks up lead for the team in blue.
Blaze Lively looking for either a star pass or a helmet cover stash. Unfortunately, the Denmark pivot has just gone to the box with another Denmark blocker. So now this gives Team GB with a significant advantage. But that is a back block now for Blaze Lively. So it's a power jam to Team GB.
Yeah, so Carrion could switch the lead status here for Great Britain. You see a nice shot on your screen there. Boneshaw setting up her team for a sweep.
Oh.
Absolute textbook offense there from Great Britain. Lovely work.
Just a gasp of admiration from me there. That was, the timing is so difficult to get right, and it was perfect.
And there they go again with this sweep.
But again, it's Wolf who is doing an incredible shift for Team Denmark in the pack.
We got a nice replay there of that offensive sweep on the inside line. Great coordination there from Great Britain. We will have a power start now. I can't see where Blaze Lively is in terms of if she's standing or not.
Yes, she is standing in the box.
So we have 10 seconds or fewer. Great Britain on 36, Denmark 31. And this is Faith No More. Now, Faith No More takes no prisoners when she jams. She is super smart, super patient, but when she hits you, you know it.
Blaze Lively out of the box and back on track, almost, and completes their initial, so half a lap behind Faith No More.
So you see on your screen there, Faith No More entering the pack.
But it's GB picking up a blocker penalty for illegal positioning.
Yeah, and conserves that jam as Blaze Lively comes off track. You can see her wearing the Danish jammer helmet cover. I love the camera work this weekend. We're getting all these really good angles.
It's a fantastic streaming team. We have to give a shout out to them from Roller Derby Toulouse, who have worked so hard over the last 3 days to bring this home, to home for you.
We have Calamity lining up for Great Britain. Calamity's first time with the star, although she has been on the rotation quite a bit this weekend.
But Mini Mina is also out and quarter of a lap behind. Although Calamity, has gone to the box.
Oh dear, for a back block. So a second power jam opportunity for Great Britain. And this is what they need if they can get 20 or 30 points ahead, they will have that positivity, they'll have that self-belief.
But I would say also that Denmark have already closed that gap down once, so I'm not sure that it's going to be big enough, especially at this stage of the game.
It's a valid point that you make. And
the penalty was assessed on the blue jammer after the call-off.
Why was Calamity not eligible? She was lead.
She may have lost lead.
Oh, and the jam just started there with very little warning. Not really sure what happened there, but we have Mini Mina with the star for Denmark. Okay, now the box is emptying out. Are you going to explain something to us,
Yes,
Dawn?
I am. Right. So, Calamity thought that they would lead because they were leading up until just before the call-off. So they were assessed a penalty while they were calling it off. So they were technically not lead by the time they called it off.
So they've not been assessed a penalty for kind of illegal procedure.
No.
They've just been setting that penalty that they didn't realise they had.
Yes, so they had lost lead, but they weren't aware that they had lost lead. So then they called the jam and they were not eligible to do so.
Gotcha. Right. So
it's a very technical series of events.
It is. And Mini Mina is also now in the penalty box after all that chaos. So we now have no lead jammer. She picked up a cut track. So no lead jammer, 2-minute jam. Everyone now knows what they're doing and it's completely fine and the rules make sense again.
Yes. So both teams picking up scoring passes. I think Calamity is going to be quite happy when this jam comes to an end in 27 seconds.
Misty Mina taking a big spill, does get back up after a few seconds but hits the deck again. And I am not sure. No, she's back up. The tenacity of some of these young people is just unreal.
The effort, the physical effort that they've all given this weekend is just phenomenal.
And you can see there some lovely blocking in the back wall from Boneshaw and Event Horizon just checking in on Mini Mina. Here's this slow-mo replay of Mini Mina picking up lead status. Goodness me, that jam seemed to be 12 minutes long.
But it was 7 points for Denmark in that jam and 6 for Great Britain, taking them to 48 versus 38. So it's a 10-point game, and we are 15 minutes into the first period.
But you want a close game in these placings, don't you? You don't want, I mean, nobody ever wants a blowout game, but
no.
Ray is having a super time out there for Great Britain. 100% lead status so far for Great Britain's Ray. And just slides through that pack like it's not even there. Great Britain losing their pivot, Faith No More, to the box.
For a multiplayer.
And we have Silas completing the initial pass for Denmark.
And Ray decides to call the jam at that point. So I think you're right, it is going to be about the slow and steady, I think, in this game.
Well, speaking of slow and steady, I wish both teams would settle into these formations a bit more. I mean, I went on about this yesterday when I was on the stream for another game, and I just think these kids are super skilled, right? But they get caught up in the speed of other teams.
Yes.
And if they can get into that low, slow derby, which I know they're good at, then it will, I think, change the control of the game.
So, and actually we saw this in Team GB versus the World last night. The World worked out that if you speed up the pack, GB's defense couldn't hold them back. And that's why their jammers were able to rack up the points at the end of the game.
Quick jam there from Wolf, who had lead status for Denmark, but Carrion with the chase makes it a 2-2 jam, so no net gain there.
No, so it's 58 playing 41. But somehow that math is harder.
Yeah, let's not do maths at this point in time. Let's just leave it.
Yeah.
We have Alarm Her out there for Denmark, another Kiwi skater who was playing a serious game not long ago on the open track, but still has gas in the tank as she picks up lead on behalf of Denmark.
With only 2 GB blockers on track, now 3, that was sort of kind of easy work, but unfortunately picked up a cut track on the way through the pack. Alarm Her now in the box, and this will be a 2-minute jam. Oh no, lead has been assessed to Boneshaw, who has now left the pack.
Okay, well, I'm going to see if it remains the case, because I thought Alarm Her had picked up lead without cutting the track.
Yeah.
So we'll have to, I mean, I'm not a referee. We're just going to have to check how that goes.
Yeah. So, well, I think we'll see if there's an official review.
Boneshaw, nice close shot there on your screen of Boneshaw coming in, backwards skating out of the pack, great control. Alarm her, heading back to track. Annihilator anchoring that outside line, accompanied by Wiz and Sirius Block and Faith No More.
So I'm from Wales in the UK, and I have seen Annihilator play from when they were about 8 years old, and so I feel very old now. This is the problem with junior roller derby.
The kids grow up, don't they?
So quick.
Yeah, well, we've got to cut some of these kids about to age up. You know, this will be their last outing as junior players. Getting me all emotional.
So big jam for GB, 16 points picked up, taking them to 74. And I know we were talking about slow and steady, but they really had the control in that jam.
Yeah, I mean, on a power jam, you're going to run it, aren't you?
But they did start it with just 2 blockers on the track.
We have Banana Splits taking the line and the star for the first time this game for Team GB. She's a feisty jammer. I love watching her skate. She's such a triple threat as well. Great in the pack as a blocker or a pivot.
And we have Wolf on the track for Team Denmark. First time that we've seen them as a jammer. And just
second time, but there was only a very quick jam previously.
Yes. And it's just, you know, exceptional blocking from Rumblebee. At the back of that pack is just a bit blocker goals.
Banana Splits picks up lead for Great Britain. You can see on your screen we've got a tangled, gnarly pack there. Mad As with the drawback on Wolf. And some lovely defense there from number 9, Energizer for Denmark, that escorts Banana Splits off track temporarily.
And we're now in a tangle, as you say, on turn 2. And it is Banana Splits pushing out front, but has picked up a... Oh, no, it's right, okay, so it was a forearms penalty for Team Denmark. Banana Splits thought it was them, went off track, realised it wasn't, came back on track, but cut track by doing that, and so has been sent to the box.
All shenanigans all the time. So we have a power jam in favour of Wolf and Denmark with 44 seconds on the jam clock.
And this is what Denmark really want right now, a chance to sort of change, especially after such a big jam from GB. It's great to come back and say, hey, you can do that, I can do that too.
Ray doing some lovely shielding defence there, not allowing Denmark to run that power jam, but they do manage to get Wolf through for 4 much-needed points. Splits back on track now, takes that inside line, nice and calm. Here's this lovely grindy derby I was talking about. We're getting these wall formations a bit more set up.
But that's a direction penalty given just at the end to the Denmark pivot, so they will be starting without a pivot on the track. But we're also seeing that the packs are moving, whereas I think, and I think it is the excitement and the sort of pressure of it all. Whereas I think if it was in training, they'd all be still.
Yeah, I just had there was a lovely moment just there when one of the Denmark players just like dead-eyed the camera and was like, "Do not perceive me. I'm busy playing roller derby for my country here. Please leave me alone. I'm but a teenager." So
we have a timeout called by Team Denmark. So while we are in that timeout, if you are loving the JRDA World Cup, there is more JRDA next year at an international level. We've got playoffs being held on June the 15th and 16th and 22nd and 23rd, 2024. And that's in venues across the USA. And it is fantastic to watch. And the championships were going to be held in July the 13th and 14th, 2024 in Chicago, Illinois, which was the home of the original birthplace of roller derby in 1935, which is, you know, obviously close to when I was born, for I am now ancient.
I'm just having a quick look on the stream, just checking in. We've got a few people cheering for Denmark on the stream. Wanting a shout out for ref Dinosaurus. Now, Dinosaurus is one of our skating officials for this game, and I've watched ref since He was a junior.
I have refed with him.
Yeah, he's actually, he refed his 100th game just a few weeks ago, which was his first game as an adult ref.
Yeah.
So how incredible is that to have 100 games under your belt before you're even an adult?
So, Carrion back on track, lead jammer for Team GB. Up
we
against
have
Lily Tort for Team Denmark.
it's Lily Skids.
Yeah.
Lily
Apologies, I could not read.
Yeah, so, yeah, 7-7 Lily Skids. We have Lily Tort and Lily Skids, so it is a little confusing. A little bit like on when it was Australia versus New Zealand yesterday on the open track, or Australia versus another team, we had Rainbow Crash, Rainbow Dash, and Rainbow Bash. Not all skating at once, but they were all on the rosters, like the charters for those teams, and I just wanted a rainbow wall. It was not to be. We have Silas and Faith No More. Faith No More's second time out with the Stars. Silas has been out maybe 4 times now. Great lateral coverage at the front of the pack by 2-7 Buster.
But it is Sirius Block who picks up the multiplayer block for Team GB and is on the way to the penalty box just as Faith No More clears for lead. And again, you know, we're starting to see the pack slow down a bit. And a potential star pass for Team Denmark. They're looking for the star pass. And that's now completed.
Yeah, beautiful pass off, and that is to number 1-2, Lil Lort. But no type to capitalize on that opportunity.
Nope, they forced the call off, so that's 4 points for Team GB. Now opening the lead out now to 86 points. Denmark on 53. And we have just 7 minutes left in this first period.
We see Event Horizon taken to the jam line, just behind Team GB.
So Team GB forming up at the back of the track on the jam line. And it is Event Horizon up against Blaze Lively.
And we can see Mad As looking to throw in some offense there for Event Horizon, but no need. Event Horizon picks up lead for Great Britain. Really fast circuit round the track. Tries the outside, has to reset. Oh, but does cut. Number 4, great drawback there from Kitty from Denmark, and it is now a power jam in favor of the Danes. The Danes and the Kiwis, I should say.
So this is a great opportunity for Denmark to close that gap back down to, you know, just as we're getting close towards half-time, they're going to want this sort of good momentum shift towards them before we get to the half-time period. But it's Blaze Lively who clears the pack on 4 points, scoring pass, first scoring pass, and now approaching for their second.
The Danes setting up at the back. Great British Wall holds steady on the outside, loses it on the in, but still managing to hold Blaze Lively at the front of the pack despite having lost, I think it was Nefarious to the box.
For a forearms penalty. But that's a fantastic hit out by Team Denmark. Team Denmark's number 4, Kitty, but doesn't hold back Event Horizon, who now completes the scoring pass, because this will go for the full 2 minutes. So both teams now scoring points all the time that they are in the pack.
And we've got a really stretched out pack here with a little bit of one-on-one defense from Murray at the front.
And it's a leg block penalty that's been assessed to Team Denmark.
And I can see Event Horizon with the star in hand, passes it off to Ray just in the dying seconds of that jam. Ooh, that felt like a very intense going on.
There was a lot that went on in that jam. But both teams picking up points. It's 6 for Great Britain and 8 for Denmark. So taking them to 92 versus 61, and we have just over 4 minutes left.
I just want to give a very quick shout out to a few of the people that Team GB asked me to shout out. So Carrion is on track, and I know she wanted to shout out to Harry Jewell. So Harry, whoever you are, Karis is thinking of you.
Yeah, so it is now Carrion, who is lead jammer, up against Team Denmark's. I'm not going to try and make...
Lily Orts.
Yes. I did not bring the right glasses.
It's all right, I got you.
Okay, good.
Big hit from Carrion in the pack there, pops back up. Denmark getting a little bit broken apart here, but great waterfalling.
But Team GB with 2 blockers that have gone to the box, 1 for a multiplayer and 1 for a cut.
Oh, we're all mixing up the penalties here in Valence, France this fine morning.
But GB also picking up 8 points, taking them to the 100. Denmark now on 61. 3 minutes left in this half. I mean, although GB have got control of the game at the moment, Denmark still have an opportunity to come back and you know, sort of show us what they showed us in the first 5 minutes of this game.
So a big run down the inside line from Alarmher. Who no, it's a track cut. So
yeah,
Boneshaw is not assessed as lead. So I can only assume that Alarmher picked up lead and then cut.
Yeah, and there was also a Team GB blocker that went to the box, and we're seeing quite a lot of low blocks. That's 2 low blocks, 1 on Denmark and 1 on Team GB, and we've seen a couple already. And I think it's just a sign of how tired everybody is, that it's becoming more difficult to maybe control your stance.
I don't know, Boneshaw doesn't look tired to me as she hops over that apex. Nice little discombobulating offense there from Team GB. Pack is moving on the far straightaway as the box empties out, comes to a halt. Boneshaw skims past the Denmark wall.
It was interesting how fast all 3 people coming out of the box skated back to the pack.
They did not want that time wasted. And, oh my goodness, Alarmher has picked up a back block and an insubordination penalty.
There's a direction and an...
Oh, I thought it was a back block, but I could be wrong. We have a skater down on track, so unfortunately you're going to have to look at our faces for a couple of minutes. So I do apologise for that. Oh no, thank you. The stream team has gone. We can't have that. Let's focus on the audience instead. Don't give close-ups of these haggard-looking people.
Sweaty, haggard-looking people.
I don't know. I feel the temperature has dropped to a mere 26 degrees today, so I'm feeling positively cool and calm, if not collected. So I am just going to give you a few little tidbits about the Team GB skaters, who you can see a nice shot of there with their bench coach Violet Attack, who is also, interestingly, an ex-international skater herself from the last World Cup. And you can see Bonnie and Keir on the bench crew there, and they have skated for Team GB at the last World Cup. We have skaters on Team Great Britain from a variety of junior leagues, including the Southern All-Stars, the Lincolnshire Bombinos, Hereford Poisonberries, the Eastbourne Newborns, and the Stamford Slayers and Roller Shop Glasgow. So it's really lovely that we have so many different leagues represented on that team over there.
And in Denmark, you know, the primary JRDA team is the
Ladybugs.
The Copenhagen Ladybugs.
And we have the Troublemakers as well. So we've got, a couple of different leagues represented from Denmark.
And they've held a junior tournament several times in the past.
It is really cool to see, I say cool, but I also say intimidating to see all these young players who are already so amazing at roller derby.
So when they go, oh yeah, I've been skating 7 years and I'm 16.
Yeah. Power start there for Faith No More and Great Britain. A little bit of confusion off the jam line with pack definition.
Which led to that direction penalty.
Forearm picked up by Rumblebee. But after a lap of the track, Faith No More does pick up lead status. 3 each in the pack on track. Eliminate Her now setting up some shielding offense.
And some fabulous timed offense coming in from, as you say, Eliminator. Lined up, but timed it perfectly.
However, Denmark doing some really great waterfalling, takes Faith No More off track. I think that is courtesy of, I wanted to say Wolf, but I could have got that wrong. We now have the box emptying out. Danish blocker strengthening their pack. Rumblebee coming back for Great Britain, and Alarm Her with Star in hand.
But we now have an empty penalty box. Everybody back on track and a bit of a pile up. But Eliminator trying to hold back Alarm Her, but Alarm Her dodges to the outside because such quick lateral move across the track. Couldn't be caught.
We can see that on the slow-mo replay here. Lovely work there from the Kiwi player.
So 4 points for Team GB, and that actually takes us to half-time. So it's 119 points. Now playing 61 for Denmark. We are back at the Junior World Cup in Valence, France, and we are in the rankings games today, the placement games, the finals, really. They are finals. This is Great Britain versus Denmark, and they are playing for 5th and 6th place in the female division. I'm Dork Mistress.
I'm Loud and Queer, and the score stands 119 to Great Britain, 61 to Denmark, who are playing with a few Kiwi guests, which is lovely, a truly international team. It's been a really interesting first half. There's been a lot of lots of penalties, lots of jammer penalties. I feel like particularly on the Danish side in the latter quarter of that game, and a few bigger jams from Great Britain as a result. But Denmark equally have had some great power jam opportunities, which have put them not too far apart from Great Britain. It looks like a fairly big spread, but that is something that could easily be made up. Off we go with Ray wearing the star for Great Britain. She started off as Great Britain's jammer, and she is lead for Great Britain, but Wolf is about 20 feet ahead of them. So Ray calls the jam.
Interestingly, Wolf actually plays in the Netherlands. But qualifies for the Danish national team. Plays in, and I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Groningen.
I mean, you're looking at me like I know how to pronounce that. I'm just like, I'm an English teacher, not a languages teacher. I do not know pronunciation.
So our fabulous producer is Nat Safe from Work, who lives in the Netherlands, and gave me the thumbs up, so I didn't mangle it that badly.
Well done. The Dutch will not come for you. Hopefully, I will protect you from the Dutch. We have Carrion and Kitty. This is Kitty's first time with the star. Kitty is 12 years old. Can we just...
I just feel like I'm made of dust and I'm going to wither away.
I think that probably, I mean, I'm guesstimating here, but I reckon that makes them the youngest player here.
I think definitely one of the youngest players here, and just, you know, jamming in the 5th, 6th playoff.
That's so cool. I wish I was as cool as that.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Carrion is on a scoring pass, but having a little bit of trouble against these Danes/Kiwis. And as she slides on past, I think she's going to pick up the full 4. She does. But looking a little bit scrappy in the pack on that apex in those dying seconds. 4 points picked up by Team Great Britain, taking them to 123. Denmark at 61.
And these first few jams of each half are so important psychologically for these teams to sort of set who's going to be in control. And you can see, because Denmark picking up lead.
Yeah, that's Liliot, who just stormed through that Great Britain wall that just didn't quite drop in time. Lovely apex hop there from Liliot.
Fantastic, and able to make the scoring pass. And Denmark appearing to play it long in this jam. Faith No More is also out, but Liliot is now almost a lap ahead.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll go toe-to-toe here. Liliot with another 4 to her name. A track cut going to Annihilator, one of the Great British blockers.
And you can see Denmark's strategy in playing it long there, with Liliot now back in the pack for 3rd scoring pass. Faces the opposition, and decided to call the jam, but that was 10 vital points for Denmark and 7 for Great Britain.
Nice slow-mo replay of Liliot's apex hop there, just superb control. See, that's the kind of apex hop I like, because you can see that she's going to stick it, she's going to land it safely. Don't give me an apex hop that makes my heart jump into my mouth, please. Nice little close-up there of the Danish bench, and now the jam starts. We've got Ray with the star and Mini Mina.
Mini Mina's mother has actually played for Denmark as well in the national team in the World Cup.
Roller derby's a family affair. I think this is the first time that Ray has not got lead this game. I might be wrong, but Mini Mina with lead status for Denmark.
No, this is the second time they've failed to get lead.
Ah.
But of only 2 times in this whole game.
And Ray trampling legally through the pack there, picks up 4 points. Mini Mina following with 4 and calls the jam.
But that's a high block that's been assessed to the Team GB pivot. So that Denmark will be starting with a pack advantage.
Yeah, that's Boneshaw going to the box as pivot for Team GB. Calamity taking the star now for Great Britain. And number 4, that is Kitty once again for Denmark. 12 years old, just reiterating that there.
An incredibly skillful athlete, you know, for that age, and the maturity to be able to compete at this level is just phenomenal.
Calamity finds a hole at the front through Denmark.
I love watching Calamity jam, because they just decide they're going to be somewhere, and anybody that's in the way is no longer in the way.
Yeah, Calamity's like, this is my track, not yours.
Yes. But the pack split out and just reformed, because I think they split a bit too far. But we have 2 Team GB blockers going to the box. And it's, for that pack destruction, I believe, and a direction.
Kitty does complete the initial, but no points. It's going to be a pretty full box for Great Britain at the start of this next jam. Yeah, 2 in the box. Denmark with the full 4.
So it's 138 points for Team GB, up against 76 for Denmark. And we've had 5 minutes of the first period, and it feels like we've had 1 jam.
Time in roller derby makes no sense to me.
It's not linear. But we have Carrion on the jam line up against Lily Lort. And it is Carrion who picks up lead, as Lily Lort was recycled behind the jam line, but is also out. So it's about half a lap between the 2 jammers. And Carrion now scoring points, blasting through that Denmark wall until they hit out to the inside. Oh, but Lily Lort finds the outside unprotected and skates through for 4 points.
Yeah, some great defensive work going on there from Denmark in the back, particularly 0-5.
So that is 2 penalties that have been assessed on that Denmark blocker going to the box.
Oh dear.
So that will be a full minute that they will be serving during this jam.
Sorry, I said 0-5, but I think I must mean 2509 or somebody, because I can't see a 0-5 on the roster. But anyway, whoever it was in Denmark, you did great work there. Well done for you.
Yeah.
I've also been reprimanded gently on the stream, and quite rightly, for not giving a shout out to Newcastle Junior Roller Derby earlier when I was name checking the leagues. I think it's pretty sure Wiz comes from Newcastle, and so I think definitely one other player on there from there.
So I think there's also been a foul out on the Team Denmark side.
Oh, now that is gonna be costly.
So it's number 45 who's actually from New Zealand.
And that would be, let me double check my numbers there. Because like I say, some of those New Zealand players did play the open game earlier, so they will be absolutely gassed. Number 45, Alarm Her.
Alarm Her, and that's one of the jammer rotations for Denmark. So we are coming to the end of that timeout.
So we've got 2-4 lined up to jam.
So that's Wolf.
Wolf. Oh! You have to howl. It's illegal not to. And Ray with the star for Great Britain. Wolf with great tenacity and footwork on the outside picks up lead.
I think Denmark were really effective in keeping Team GB away from Wolf on that pack, on the jam line.
And Ray just dropping to the infield briefly. I think she has got a skate lace tangled in her wheel.
But Wolf gets the 4 points and calls the jam.
Yeah, now I wasn't sure. Did Wolf call the jam? So I didn't see them calling it. They might have done. I might have just had my eyes off them because I was looking at Ray's skates. Because they might have thought it was an injury, but
it is a technical malfunction.
Yeah.
I think, equipment malfunction. So Ray is fine, but is going back to the bench to properly fix their skates. There has been a number of skate destruction incidents during this tournament, and I think it's just how much commitment all of the skaters are giving. Sometimes their kit doesn't quite give that same level of commitment.
I love that idea, the idea that your kit is not as committed as you to being bashed about. But we've had a skate shop here, haven't we?
Yes.
To support us.
Yes, and we've had people donating kits, skates. There's one point different people with the same pair of skates on.
That makes my stomach turn a tiny little bit, but in a affectionate way. We've got a nice close-up of how low these skaters can get off this jam line. 2:08 from Great Britain. That I think, or no, think 2:06. I think that's Rumblebee. Just so low.
Yeah, Rumblebee has been really impressive at the pack and do phenomenal one-on-one blocking. But it is Kitty that makes it out as lead for Team Denmark.
12 years old, just going to say it again. 12 years old.
Please don't, I am actually going to cry.
Calamity tries to make it past Minimina, who picks up a low block for her troubles. Calamity, with the no pass, completes the initial.
Just to put it in perspective, I started to learn to skate when Kitty was born, and Kitty is already a better skater than I will ever be.
I mean, Kitty's probably a better skater than many of us will ever be. Calamity with a nice little bean dip for 4 points. Wiz with the drawback on Kitty.
But Calamity facing just 2 Team Denmark up front, and it is a illegal positioning procedure for Team GB. So this is now just 1 GB blocker on track. So they are the pack.
They are the pack, and that is Rumblebee. Oh, beautiful hit out there by 05. I keep saying 05. They must have a different number on the roster because we do not see.
It's Minimina.
Oh, it's just Minimina. They're just 5 on the roster.
They're just 5, yeah.
I actually should be able to recognise her because her makeup is beautiful but terrifying.
Yes.
Looks like she's smeared blood, the blood of her enemies around her eyes, but in a fashion way.
But you can see at the end of the jam, Team GB unable to get their blockers out of the penalty box, so they are starting with just 1 blocker on track.
That's mad as, I think.
Yeah.
She looks pretty happy, though. She's like, I have got this. I am so ready. Great shielding offense work there from the Kiwi Dane guest skater.
Blaze Lively trying to keep Mad As out of the way, and again.
Carrion blasting through the arms of the Danish Kiwi blockers there, and does complete her initial. Liliort with points in the pockets, and we've got a jammer foot race going on. It's almost like synchronized jamming right now.
It's actually speed skating.
Both jammers fighting for those lines.
But it was in the end Team GB who managed to complete that pass, equaling Denmark's score in that jam.
Yes, 8 points per piece, and we see a nice little shot there of Liliort getting that lead status.
So this is now 103 points for Team Denmark, 161 for Great Britain, and we have just 20 minutes left in this game, in this 5th, 6th playoff in the Junior World Cup.
I really want them to all get medals. Do you know what I mean? I know that seems like a bit of a soft attitude, but I just think they should all get medals. I think they've been amazing.
Well, each team will have a most valuable player awarded at the closing ceremony tonight, so please do stay on after the final games to see whether your favourites have picked up awards, also overall MVP, blocker and jammer.
Ray with lead status for Great Britain right now. Oh, tries the straightaway hop. Does take a tumble and is going to pick up a track cut.
But the height on that jump was phenomenal.
Well, this is why I'm not allowed to be a ref, because I would just be like, that was cool, let her have it. So we have a power jam for Denmark, and it's Pinball Blizzard. Pinball hasn't jammed since the first jam. So, you know, she is back out there with pretty fresh legs.
Yep. And you can see Team GB lined up, but the opposition from Denmark, the person-on-person marking.
Yeah, the cloggy blocking there is just beautiful. Nefarious, Annihilator with a 2-wall there.
But Denmark are now having to get ready for Ray coming back from the box.
Yeah, to kind of foster that international cooperation, right?
Wonderful.
We have Blaze Lively and Banana Splits. Banana Splits are living up to her name and just splitting those walls apart. Lovely patient work there from the Great Britain jammer. We're losing 2 blockers for Great Britain to the box, as well as, I think, Blaze Lively, because Lil Skids is now the jammer for Team Denmark.
I think, you know, we are seeing an increasing number of penalties in the second half and quite a lot on pack destruction. So I think it's just the very good control that they've had is starting to go at the end of this final game for them.
Nice patient work there. And Denmark now setting back to try to clog Great Britain and clear that inside line for Lil Skids,
who is out, completes second scoring pass.
And Banana Splits calls it with 1 more point going up. So that is 5 points for Great Britain, 8 for Denmark, even with the star pass. So great work there from the Danes.
I mean, what's interesting is in this second half, Denmark have had the lead 4 times. But at the same time, Team GB have been able to score on those jams. So although Denmark has usually won the jam, it's not by enough to really start closing that gap down.
Yeah, we've not seen any of these massive jams, have we? These kind of like 16 or 20 points that have perhaps been more characteristic of the open games. But I prefer that, if I'm being honest. Carrion with lead now for Great Britain. And it is Wolf who completes the initial, has a lap to make up. Carrion in scoring position. Look at that lovely Danish formation being broken apart.
Carrion gets the point, sees the danger, calls the jam, and it is the 4 for GB, taking them to 172. Denmark now on 115 points, and we are 16 and a half minutes left.
And I can hear the national anthem for one of the other countries starting up on the other track. So if you can hear that through our microphone, do sing along.
But don't leave us. This is a much more interesting game than I think the score is showing us. It is a team timeout which has been called by Denmark. So I think they are probably having a bit of a re-strategize because they are, you know, they're picking up leads, but they're not being able to do quite enough with it at the moment.
I can also see that Minnie Mina has just fouled out of the game. So that's a big loss for Denmark. She's been really significant in the pack. Just a little fun fact from the stream for us. So Kitty, that jammer we've been talking about, you know, they're that 12-year-old jammer. Their big sister is also playing Basta. So 27 is Kitty's big sister.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that gorgeous? What?
I mean, it's just been amazing to see how much the families are involved and support these skaters. There's a Team USA skater that 17 members of their families come with them.
From South Dakota, right? Yeah, they've made it a big old family trip, which has been lovely. And I know that on Team Sweden, Saga, like her mum's here and she also skates for a Swedish roller derby team. And yeah, it's really cool to see it all being a family affair. We had some cousins on the Great Britain Open team.
So we have somebody in our announcer crew whose daughter is playing for Team Canada. So the mother's announcing, the daughter's playing. It is a family affair, this tournament. And we are back on track. We have Boneshaw for GB, Lee Jammer up against Lilleort for Team Denmark. Lilleort stuck behind a really tough wall, including Sirius block, and just as Boneshaw is hit out to the outside and recycled, but the pack speeding up.
4-2 Orca doing a nice bit of defence in the back of that pack, momentarily holding back Boneshaw.
And Sirius block heading to the box in that tight pack picked up a penalty. So Boneshaw completing second pass, sorry. So that's 8 points for GB.
And Lilleort finding her way through on the initial. Boneshaw just spinning with such great control through that inside apex. Yeah. And we're going to see that again on the slow-mo replay. Just look at that footwork. Perfect control. I want to go to a boot camp run by her, please.
But 12 points for GB in that jam. We were just saying that we hadn't seen the big jams, but GB putting, and breaking the announcer's curse.
Oh, Kitty and Banana Splits having a little high five moment on the jam line. Makes my heart feel warm. Charlotte Fever and Wiz playing How Low Can You Go. Look at Kitty pushing on Charlotte Fever there. So much strength. And Denmark with some beautiful blocking at the front by Energizer, holding Banana Splits at bay. And there goes Kitty with lead for Denmark.
But that took 25 seconds to establish lead jammer, which is, I think, is one of the longer jams that we've had in this game.
Sure, and we're coming into turn 3 and 4. Banana Splits is going to pick up a track cut. We did see that just as she thought she was clear. So it's a power jam for Denmark.
So Kitty now has 1 minute, 10 seconds to see what can happen in this game, because they are lead, so they are still in control.
If I was Denmark right now, I'd be running this jam for all it's worth. When you're young, when you've got 12-year-old legs.
When you have legs that work.
When you've got knees that still bend at right angles. Use them, child.
So Team GB doing very much sort of taking one-on-one on Kitty as blocking. But Kitty sees the power jam coming to an end, thinks, I have had enough of this, and calls the jam, but did pick up the 4 points on that scoring pass. So that takes them to 8 points, taking them to 123, 184 to Team GB. 13 minutes left.
I really like how Denmark have grown through this tournament. Like, it must be really tough coming in as this, probably, apart from Team World, but like as the smallest national team, coming in with a short roster, having some seriously tough games in the pool stages, but seeing how they've continued to gel together over the weekend has been really lovely.
And how quickly they've been able to gel with guest skaters as well. And
absolutely.
This is just going to be huge for these skaters' development, this experience.
With Orca wearing the star for the first time. Nice hit out there by Annihilator. Does pick up a direction for her troubles.
Yeah. But Ray has scooted through to complete scoring pass. That is scoring pass number 1. It's a multiplayer block, unfortunately for Team GB, picking that up. So this is giving Denmark the pack advantage.
And Orca is trying to push her way past these GB blockers, but just eliminate her to beat now.
But it's GB's pivot was sent to the box for a high block.
And has returned to track.
Because the box was full.
Yep.
So we've seen this a couple of times in this, particularly in this half. GB are having a bit of penalty trouble.
And they don't need to. They don't need to get in their heads at this point. Eliminate her, doing great one-on-one work in the back of the pack. Does pick up a direction, though.
And there's also a back block penalty for Team GB. So we are left with just 2 GB blockers on track. But even then, they can hit out the jammer, which is now 777 Lily Skids. and have decided to speed the pack up, which is smart. If there's only 2 of you, that's probably the best that you can do, to try and speed the pack up, save your points, and give you opportunities to hold the jammer back. But Lily Skid is out.
Yeah, some really great tenacity there from Lily Skid, having to just kind of slalom through blocker after blocker after blocker. And we're mostly all back on track now, I think, at the end of that jam.
GB have called for an official review, though. So what we've got here is that Great Britain requested a cut on white jammer against blue number 102. The officials did not have enough information to assess the action, so the no call stands.
That means we are back with a full complement of players on track. It's Blaze Lively wearing the star for the first time in a while for Denmark, and Faith No More jamming for Great Britain.
I think what's really noticeable is the depth of the jamming options Team GB have. They have quite a wide jamming roster compared to, I think, even a lot of teams. That's a forearms penalty that's just been assessed. Just seeing who's going to the box.
And as we head up to turn 3, Faith No More does pick up lead after about 25 seconds. Yeah. Look at this lovely, slow defensive blocking from both teams, though. We've got a gorgeous 2-wall at the back and some nice waterfalling from Denmark at the front.
The ability of that 2-wall at the back to cover the whole track was truly astonishing, but not quite enough to hold back Blaze Lively, who, as out, forces the call off, but it's 4 more points for GB. And we're now less than 10 minutes left in this game.
Yeah, so GB have got the significant lead here, so they just need to keep themselves calm and not lose their heads.
In the last 8 jams, they have had lead, I think, 5 times. So I think that's my maths. I'm doing it from. So you know, they are in control of the game on the whole. So I think that piece about keeping it calm and steady, don't have the destruction penalties, keep the pack together. But that is a low block that's been assessed a serious block.
Ray is lead for Great Britain. They take a spill in turn 2, hop back up.
But is Ray completing first scoring pass, now approaching the pack on the second. Oh, but Liliort with an amazing apex hop on the straight. And that forces the call off, because Denmark now on 4 points. And we're going to be back to the pack quicker than Great Britain, who took 8 points in that last jam.
Liliort has been such a consistent player for Denmark. Even when she's had penalties and so on, she doesn't seem to lose her head. She's someone who's putting up these multiple scoring passes. We've got, again, I think, full complement of Danish players, but 2 in the box, Great Britain, Carry On and Kitty. Oh, Kitty slicing down that inside line.
But Carry On actually overtakes Kitty on the apex. So it's a race back to the pack.
And slides on that inside line. Big hit in the pack from Carry On, but Kitty answering with a hit of their own on Boneshaw.
But Boneshaw was lined up, he was eyeing Kitty down that straightaway, going, you're going to have to get past me, with a fantastic hit out to the outside. But Kitty playing this long and keeps on their skates on track. But that is a back block that's been assessed to Carrion, so this is now a power jam for Denmark.
And this is Kitty's second time out on a power jam, I think. So Denmark choosing to goat a player at the back, but it's Boneshaw. You don't want to try and goat Boneshaw. Kitty lateraling round with some beautiful work, ably assisted by number 24 Wolf.
Yeah, and it is a Boneshaw with the drawback, huge drawback, but it's a multiplayer block assessed on Team Denmark. So we will be starting with GB with the blocker advantage.
And Carry On did escape the box at the end of that jam, so we will have the jammer as well, and Ray's coming back out to jam. Number 9 for Denmark, Energizer. I don't think Energizer's jammed yet.
I don't remember Energizer having jammed that. No, we all believe this is Energizer's first time on the jam line.
So Denmark setting up at the front. Ray with a characteristic little one-leg sweep around the outside, picks up lead for Great Britain.
And is approaching the packs for the scoring pass, but it is a no pass, no penalty for Energizer. But as they were not eligible for lead, that was makes no difference. But Ray sees Energizer approaching the pack, calls the jam.
Got a nice little replay here of Ray scooping round.
I can't even contemplate skating that. It's like
Imagine
that.
being this good at anything as a child.
We're this good at announcing.
Yeah, but we're not children, Dork. Like, this has taken us
I act like one.
months, years of practice. I appreciate it's taken these guys, you know, months and years as well. But at the same time, they still have decades ahead of them.
That's the bit I'm jealous about. Faith No More on the jam line up against Lily Ort.
Yeah, Lily Ort speeding ahead to hug that inside line. Faith goes no more. See what I did there?
I do see what you did there.
Quite proud of that one. Put that
Made me
down in the
laugh.
history books.
Yeah.
Didn't even think of it in advance, just popped out.
220 points to Great Britain, 135 to Denmark, and there is 5 minutes left on this game.
And you're going to go interview the winning team after this, aren't you?
I am,
Which
yes.
would be lovely.
Yes.
If you can calm them down from the excitement.
I think there will be a lot of excitement.
Carrion and Kitty setting up to jam now. Carrion finds the inside line. Kitty battling against 535 Charlotte Fever.
And finds that gap on the inside and skates through to pick up 4 points for Carrion and Team GB.
Ooh, big spill in the apex. Everyone's back up on skates.
Kitty, I think, took a breath, you know, and you think how hard Kitty has worked in the last few jams.
Yeah, they've been really, really tenacious with that star. Few shout outs in the chat. Shout out to Event Horizon and Nefarious from the Disco Skate family. Shout out to Faith No More, Mad As, and Eliminate Her from Bombinos. Somebody's asking, why are we talking British? Well, I hate to break it to you, stranger from the internet, but Dork and I are about as British as you can get.
So, as we say, 4 minutes left in this game. 226 points, now playing 135. We've got GB lined up at the back with one Denmark for the offence.
Oh, beautiful line there from Liliot.
And it was great. The offence was a distraction to Team GB. Very, very clever.
Sneaky offence. Ray managing to scoop their wheels past their opposing blockers. Their footwork is so good in those tight spaces.
But that's their initial pass completed, whereas Liliot has now picked up the 4 points. And Ray now back in the pack. Liliot content to run this long. I mean, we've seen Liliot get through the pack really quickly, and it shows.
There she goes.
Yeah, I mean, lapping Ray. So that was a smart move not to call that off. But that was a forearms penalty that's just been assessed on Ray. So it is now a power jam to Denmark.
Liliot has been using her blockers really well coming into the pack to create either that distraction or that shield. She knows what she's doing. Dangerous on a power jam, I imagine. Oh, hops the straightaway, doesn't quite stick it in bounds. Drawn back by Annihilator.
And eliminates.
Eliminator.
But it is a direction penalty for Eliminator, which is breaking up that wall and lets Liliot through to complete 4th scoring pass. I think that's the highest score for Denmark in this game in one jam, 16 points.
I feel like we may have had one before, but that was from Great Britain, wasn't it?
No, we had a 15 and a 14, so this is record scoring jam for Denmark, taking them to 151 points.
Calamity will start the jam for Great Britain, and 282 Blaze Lively, one of the Kiwi guests, will wear the star for Denmark. I say star, it's not quite a star, but I don't know what it is.
They're lions.
Oh, very cool.
Yes.
I didn't know that Denmark were associated with lions, but you learn something new every day.
I only know this because I have a Team Denmark top from the 2014 World Cup.
Blaze Lively is lead for Denmark. And Calamity slides in, but Denmark picks up 2 points. Great Britain held scoreless in that jam.
And that's the first time we have seen that. It's only the fifth time this half that GB have not scored.
Yeah, it's great work from Denmark there.
And you think that we've had 23 jams and they've scored in 18 of them. So that's great work from Team Denmark.
Lovely little hug moment there from Wolf and Boneshaw on the line. Boneshaw opting the run-up. Wolf lateraling Great Britain side to side. Boneshaw picks up lead, but forced to reset behind Liliot.
But it is Wolf who is out, but is not lead.
So Wolf now coming in on a scoring pass.
And Boneshaw has been, as we say, assessed lead.
I don't know if she realises that she is lead.
But may do now that they are out of the pack. Yep, she sees the jam ref pointing at them and calls that jam. But Denmark, again, holding GB scoreless, second jam in a row, picking up 4 points.
And this will be our last jam as we look at the period clock counting down, unless some shenanigans occur.
Shenanigans, you say?
In roller derby? Surely not.
Never.
And it will be Ray and Energizer once again for Denmark, their second time with the Lion Star.
Energizer for Team Denmark is back.
So Energizer pushing out up front.
Lovely work there from Energizer. And how super for Denmark to be able to finish this game with a lead status. They've done incredibly well.
Yeah.
Ray bowls over the pivot with a forearm. And so now Denmark will have a power jam.
Their opportunity to score as many points as they possibly can and get that gap close, because I think, that will be such a sense of pride for Team Denmark in how well they've done against GB this morning.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant work. Energizer being pinballed about in the pack. And does call it, I'm assuming, with 4 in the pocket. So the unofficial score is 229 to 161. Dork is going to go off and interview a member of the winning team. But at the moment, it looks like we're just getting Energizer back up off the floor. You can see Team Great Britain applauding. And that is the final score. Great Britain absolutely delighted with that result. They've had a really tough tournament. They have been absolutely brilliant. Huge commiserations, of course, to Denmark, and a massive thank you to the guests who have joined Denmark this weekend, mostly from New Zealand, but we have had in other games, we've had Canadians join them as well, maybe some others that I've missed. We're going to have this interview with Dork Mistress and Ray now from Team Great Britain.